Good afternoon, hearty welcome. Please share the screen.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please share the screen. Hearty welcome.
Okay. Share the screen. This time if I open here. Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Shall I start, sir?
Yes, madam. Please proceed. మిగతా వాళ్ళు ప్లాన్ అవుతూ ఉంటారు మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేయండి.
Okay.
Right.
In this one, images of total vegetative cell thallus organization. The best example for all are these one. One is the Euglena, Chlamydomonas, the structure, and both Euglena and Chlamydomonas flagella are present. Chlorella, flagella is totally absent. And this one is a filamentous plant.
Madam, your voice is not clearly audible. Please say loudly.
Second. Now?
Yes, madam. Yes. Now it's okay.
This one is the Spirogyra, filamentous plant body. And next here, hallmarks is there, no? Ctenobium or colonies are present. And in this one also motile form. The second one, focoid form. This one is the hydrodictia. In this one also same, both are the colonies are present. But this colony is the flagella are present. Here you can't see the flagella. And this one also tetraspora, Cryptophyceae, filamentous, another filamentous plant body, Spirogyra, Euglenophyceae.
No, madam, it's not audible. Your voice is not clearly audible.
Hello?
మీ వాయిస్ క్లియర్ గా లేదు.
Okay, these are the images of algae, and the next one, see here, what is a coleochaete? This is the ectocarpus. This is the cladophora. False through branches are there, and this is the ectocarpus, coleochaete, Bradycospermum, Polysyphonia, Vacheria. Next one, alba. These are all I'll explain in the before slides. Okay, thank you. These are the total class. What is the thallus? How to identify this one? Examples are the most important in this thallus organization. Okay. Now I'll go for another topic. 1 second. In that topic, one second, I'll show the next is the classification of algae. Okay. Now I'll explain the thallus organization is completed. Now I'll explain to the total classification. But most of the degree students, you can read out the classification. Fritch scientist classification. Can the most important for the Fritch scientist classification is the importance for only degree level. But Smith scientist and the scientist classifications also there. Here you can study it in degree. That classification is a Fritch, see by Fritch. And here, what are the main characters or what is the important, how to classify the algae? You know, algae basics, some important characters or important points are there. Very, in the first class only I'll explain that one. All our algae are very simple, autotrophic plants. These autotrophic plants, that is the Some characteristic features are there. One is the plant body is called thalloid. All our algae is called the autotrophism. And what is the autotrophism? They prepare the food material own. That's why these are the autotrophism. This is a non-vascular plants. Vascular system is totally absent. You know that one also. I'll explain in the first class only. And the sex organs, you know that one is the unicellular to starting from multicellular, unicellular to multicellular, and without layer of jacket also absent. Zygote here, no, never develop into the embryo. That's why no embryo also. In the first one, I'll explain. No, embryo is also absent. Why embryo is absent? The zygote never develop to the into an embryo. That's why embryo is absent. Life cycles, different types of life cycle. They different types meaning first one haplo life cycle to diplomatic life cycle, haplodiplomatic life cycle, like that different types of life cycle. These are the basic things to take the scientist to division of or classification of the algae. Okay, these are the primary classification of algae based on the morphological and physiological features. What is the other? I'll explain in the first one. What are the another features? The pigment composition. What type of pigments are present and how many types of pigments are there? I'll explain now. Chlorophyll A, B, C, D, and E. Total 5 types of pigments are present. And chemicals nature. What is the chemical nature? What cell wall is made up of cellulose. Different types of reserve food material. The basic of reserve food material is starch. And kind of point in the insertion and relative length of flagellas also very important. The flagella, what is the point? What is the relative point? What is the insertion of the points? All the flagella. Presence of the defined number of nucleus also, or sometimes present, sometimes is the absent. These are all two basic things to the scientists to take and to classify to the algae. Many algologist scientists gave the classification algae, but most and authentic and comprehensive classification was proposed by the scientist F.E. Fritch in 1935. What is the classification? Which classification is the most authentic and the comparative? The Fritch scientist classification is the most authentic. The year to explained in that one classification in 1935. These scientists who published one volume or one book entitled the book name Structure and Reproduction of Algae. What is the book name? In this question to ask the examination. Fritch scientists entered the classification or entitled one published the book or volume. What is the entitled book name? Structure and Reproduction of Algae. This one is the 2 volumes are there. These 2 volumes in the classified total, the Fritch to classified algae into 11 classes. How many classes to classify? Total 11 classes are classified. See, what is the 11 classes? First one, Chlorophyceae algae, green algae. Second one, Xanthophyceae, yellow-green algae. Third, Chrysophyceae. 4, Bacillariophyceae or Diatoms. 5th one, Cryptophyceae. 6th one, Dinophyceae or Dinoflagellates. 7th one, Chloromonadineae. 8th one, Euglenophyceae. 9th one, Phaeophyceae or brown algae. 10th one, Rhodophyceae or red algae. 11th one, Myxophyceae or blue-green algae. See here, students. In the 1935, the Fritch scientists to divided to classes like that. But nowadays, the scientists to these last classes, there no blue-green algae or Myxophyceae to remove this algal member in part. Why? These are characteristic features of the microorganisms, or that is the microbiology characteristic are there, just like the bacteria and virus characters are there. In that characters identify the scientists. That's where these class to move from the where microorganism. And first I'll explain each and every class. What is the important characters? What are the functions? What type of reserve food material are there? What type of pigments? What is the vegetative structure? How many types of reproduction? These are things I'll explain each and every class. The first class, Chlorophyceae, you know, that is a green algae, freshwater algae. Mostly 80% is the freshwater algae. Remaining marine and terrestrial algae. But dominant is the freshwater. Freshwater, some of marine and terrestrial algae. The cell is the unicellular. Motile forms, you know, motile meaning flagella is present. Unicellular motile forms. Colonial, non-motile thalli as well as filamentous thallus are there. These are present in these class. What type of pigments? Chlorophyll A and B along with carotenoid. See, listen here careful. Chlorophyll A found in all classes. Remaining B, C, D and E found in only few classes. A is very common. Any class, any 11 classes you can take. In that class, A is very common. But remaining 4, you can observe only few classes. Here in the Chlorophyceae, what type of pigments is dominate? That is the chlorophyll A and B along with carotenoids. You know carotenoids, orange red color, and reserve food material, you know, starch. This is the first class, no? That's where the reserve food material is starch, but oil in penetrating structures also. This is the reserve food. What type of flagellas are there? Motile cells with equal flagella. See, motile meaning flagella is present, but the flagella structure is what do you call the flagella structure is the 1 second. See, this one in case if you take any algal structure, this is the one type of, these are two the flagella. Both are same equal length. Sometimes the flagella one is short, another one is the long. This is the another structure of flagella. In this class, motile cells, how many equal flagellas are present and same length also present. So this one is the main important character. And the next one, sexual organs. Sex organs reproduction is the sexual, both are present, but here isogamy, oogamy is called. That one is the sexual reproduction. A sexual reproduction, gamets, oogamous. What type of oogamous? Isogamous type of sexual reproduction. Meiosis usually zygotic. The starting class, no, life cycle is the haplonetic life cycle. These are characteristic features you can study it in degree level. 3 type studies. One is a wall box, second one Edogonium. I think third one is the Cara. These and folio kit also. These 4 you can study it in this class. Here in this class, many examples I'll give, no, that is a folio kit, chlorella, hydrodictyum. These are two found in this class only. You can by heart it. Examples are most important. Each class, what type of pigments, what type of flagellas are present, and what type of reserve food material, and that is the most important characteristic feature, and examples are most important. Okay. Next, the second class, Xanthophyceae. Here, Xanthophyceae is the also terrestrial, freshwater or terrestrial. The pigments, see, Xanthophyceae pigments, chlorophyll A is common, no? I'll explain now. But chlorophyll A and chlorophyll E. These are some carotenoids also present, that carotenoid, beta carotenes, and special type of xanthophylls also present. Here, this E is very dominant in this plant, in this class, Xanthophyceae class. The chlorophyll E is very dominant. That's why the color of this one, the pigment is E is very dominant, and carotenoids also, that the carotenoid type is called beta carotene and xanthophyll. The reserve food material here different, oils and leucocene. Very important in this one. The reserve food material is the oils and leucosin. The unequal size of flagella. In the first class, you can study to the Chlorophyceae, equal size of flagellas. But here, unequal size of flagellas, different types. Sex are the reproductive predominantly, rarely oogamous type. What is the life cycle? Haplonetic is very common with zygotic meiosis. This one is a Xanthophyceae member. Important characters. Next one, third class, Chrysophyceae. Here, mostly the third class of Fritch or Algae, Chrysophyceae, mostly freshwater, sometimes marine water. Chlorophyll A and C is common. A is very common. And what is the second pigment? C. And excess of phycocyanin, yellow orange color. Phycocyanin is the yellow phycocyanin is the dominant color. C is there, no. That's why this algal color is called yellow orange color pigment. And the very most important characteristic feature, reserve food material is called oils and leucosin. Oils and leucosin. Sex are reproductive, very rare section. And type of sexual reproduction, isogamous type. All are the motile cells are there. Flagella, one or two flagella, equal or rarely unequal length. Equal is dominant, unequal is very rare. This is the third one. And fourth one is the Bacillariophyceae. These Bacillariophyceae and Bacillariophyceae, freshwater algae, this one, as well as marine water. You can identify diatoms. The name is called Bacillariophyceae, the diatoms. In that diatoms, freshwater algae, same you can 50-50% you can observe. Freshwater and also marine water. Cell walls too very important. The cell wall, mostly cellulose is common. But here in the Bacillariophyceae, the cell wall made up of silica. That's why this is mostly highly economically important in this class algae. The cell wall to made up of siliculoses. The cell wall made up of siliculoses and with two havels. The structure two havels meaning I'll show it 1 second. Annotation. 2. See, one second. See like this. This is one havel and second one like this. Like this. This type of havels, that is called the havels. Next one, see like this. Like this. This is called the havels. And what type of pigments are there? Two types. One is the C and the second one is called, what is the second one? AC is the pigment system. AC is called the pigment system. See this one. C and A common C. Another one is C. And what type of carotene? Beta carotenes and xanthophylls. What type of xanthophylls? Leucine and glucoxanthin is the main important of the pigment system. And reserve food material, oils and chrysolaminarian starch and chrysolaminarian starch. In this one, Motile alcohols also to present in this reserve food material. Reserve valentin oils also present. And what type of flagella? Motile stage with 1 and 2 tensile type of flagellas are present. Next one, gametes. Meiosis is present. The sexual reproduction, where the meiosis is there, in that part is called the gametogenesis or gametogenesis. gametogenic. Okay, male and female gamete to separate in that one. And the sexual reproduction isogamous. Here one spores are present. Very important, a sexual reproduction, different types of spores. Here you can observe this one. What type of spores you can observe here? Oxospores. Many spores, autospores, autozoes, endospores, exospores, like that. Different types of spores are there. But in this class, you can observe to the oxospore. Life cycle monogenic or diplonetic life cycle. Fourth one is completed. Next, fifth class, that is the Cryptophyceae. Cryptophyceae. Here you can observe cold countries and surfaces of fresh water as well as marine water habitat. The pigment same, chlorophyll A and C, beta-carotenes, xanthophylls, phycocyanin and phycoerythrin is, but these are different from those of Dinophyceae. In the Dinophyceae, Rhodophyceae, you can study the pigment, phycoerythrin, phycocyanin. But these are two different from those Dinophyceae and Rhodophyceae member of this pigment system. The reserve food material you can observe starch and pyrenoids also present in this class. Mostly flagella is present, motile form, and the size of flagella unequal. The sexual reproduction is the isogamous type. And the sixth one coming to Dinophyceae. What is Dinophyceae? Fresh water as well as marine water algae class is called Dinophyceae member. Fresh and as well as marine water. This is a unicellular, motile, biflagellate forms. The pigments of in this class chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, and same beta-carotenes, phycoerythrins, and red pigment pyridine also present. Same reserve food material is called the starch material. Sometimes you can observe to the fat also. And very important, another one, sexual reproduction is very rare in this class. In case sexual reproduction is there, the type of sexual reproduction is called isogamous type. Coming from the seventh class, Chloromonadiae. This simple freshwater form. This can observe only for the freshwater form. The color pigment green color, bright green. Why bright green? The chlorophylls, excess of chlorophylls and excess of xanthophylls are present. That's where this class is a very bright green color is there. The reserve food material also called fat. Reproduction by longitudinal division. Okay, what is vegetative reproduction is there, and sometimes if the sexual, that is the longitudinal divisions, all are present in the class of Chloromonadiae. Coming from eighth one, that is called the Euglenophyceae. This also fresh water is most found as well as saline water habitat also. The structure unicellular motile forms with one or two flagellas are present. The cell wall is totally absent in the Euglenophyceae. What is present? Pellicle. In the replace of cell wall, the structure made up of that base is called the pellicle is present. Pigment, chlorophyll A and B. Reproduction by fusion, that is a vegetative reproduction, is present from these class of Euglenophyceae. And the ninth one, Phaeophyceae. Very important, the algae is called brown algae. Already can studied in this Phaeophyceae member ectocarpus. Mostly these are the seaweed or marine water algae. Only two are marine water. One is the Rhodo and second one is the Pheo. The first one is the Phaeophyceae, is the marine water algae. Very simple thallus organization. What type of Heterotrichous forms. I'll explain now in the before class. Heterotrichous filamentous thallus. Okay? One is the projecting and erect system. Both are present. Higher forms are large, bulky parenchyma thallus is present with may attain in length of the several meters also. The very highest meters are found in this algae, the structure that is a Phaeophyceae. And chromatophores have a chlorophyll A and C. And what type of pigment? Chromatophores also that pigment type. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, beta carotenes and fucoxanthins are this pigment system. The reserve food material laminaria starch, mannitol, alcohol. Very important. Many times to ask in this class. Phaeophyceae, what are the pigment system? What are the reserve food material? Pigments, chlorophyll A, C, beta carotene, fucoxanthins, reserve food material laminaria starch, mannitol, alcohol are present. Reproductive structure. Reproductive to lateral inserted flagella, unequal length. And the type of sexual reproduction is isogamous to oogamous type. These life cycle, diazenic life cycle is there. Very important life cycle. Isomorphic, heteromorphic alternation of generation or diplonetic or monogenetic of the life cycle. Very important in this order. Here many 4 orders are there. Order of the members. Fucales, the most important order. Coming from 10th one. That is the Rhodophyceae member. Here, this also red algae. This also marine algae. You can observe the only marine, not for the pure, this one, freshwater. Majority to found in this class, marine with a few expectations. The pigment, chlorophyll A, D, beta carotene are very, very important, students. Or phycocyanin or phycoerythrin. Both are called phycobilins. Water soluble a pigment. Very important. Which pigment is water soluble? Phycoerythrin, phycocyanin, that is called phycobilins. Sometimes, many times to ask, which pigment is the water soluble? Chlorophylls, xanthophylls, carotenoids or phycobilins or phycocyanin or phycoerythrin. Both are to combine with is called, that is called the phycobilins. Phycocyanin, phycoerythrin. Both are the pigment system. Water soluble A and D, but these two are also important. Phycocyanin and phycoerythrin. Here phycoerythrin is very, very dominant. That's where this Rhodophyceae member name is called, red algae. Why? Phycocyanin, this one. Phycoerythrin is very dominant. That's why this is the red algae. And the reserve food material also most important. Many times to ask, Florodian starch. Where, which class, which algae you can observe the Florodian starch? See here, you can study the Polysyphonia. Yes or no? Geranium. These two can by heart it example. In the class of Rhodophyceae, the reserve food material is called Florodian starch. Here, fixed connections also very common and very important point. Motile stays completely absent. Here, no flagella. Only 2 class of flagella is absent. Where? In Dinophyceae, Rhodophyceae. Rhodophyceae is a motile. And in this one, flagella is totally absent in the life cycle. That's where the male gamete is known as spermatium. The female gamete name is called Harpagonium. Very, very important. In this class, sexual reproductive organ names is very different. In the Kara also 2 different organs are there. The globule and nucleus. Globule is the male, nucleus is the female. Here in the Rhodophyceae also, the sexual organs is the different names. Not like the Tantheridia, Vugonia, Archigonia. Different names, you can by heart these names. Female is the Carpagonia, male is the Spermatium. What is the male? Spermatium. Female name, Harpagonia. and zygote never released the carpogonium, and fruiting body also after germination to formation of body, fruiting body to produced in this class, that is carposporophyte. This question also many times to ask. In the Rhodophyceae member, what type of fruiting body to release in the after reproduction? After reproduction, the fruity body name is called carposporophyte. As a result of post-fertilization changes, this you can observe this fruiting body. What is the name of fruiting body? Carposporophyte. And meiosis, porogenetic, zygotic is there. Life cycle, trizenic. Why trizenic is there? Here, three parts are the reproductive you can observe. Gametophytic stage and tetrasporic stage and spermatophytic stage. Like that, the cycle is the trizenic. This question to ask the many times. In the which class you can observe to the trizenic? Which algae you can to the trizenic life cycle? Okay, you can ask the Polysiphonia, what type of life cycle? Trizenic life cycle is there. Only can observe in this class only. And the coming from last one, Myxophyceae. You know, blue-green algae. What is Myxophyceae? Blue-green algae, freshwater, terrestrial, epiphytic, endophytic, symbiotic. These are characters in the Myxophyceae member. Just all characters in the microorganism character. The cell wall made up of in the cell, the nucleus structure, the DNA structure, the all characters you can observe to the microorganisms. That's why nowadays you can study the Myxophyceae also in the microbiology time. And the pigments here also A is very common. See here, in case here also to ask how many types of pigments to present in Dinophyceae or Myxophyceae. Only A, not for B, C, D, E is absent. Other classes, two pigments are there. But here only one pigment, that is the chlorophyll A. And beta carotene, xanthophylls is very common. And phycobilins, only two are phycobilins are present now. One is the rhodo and the other one is the this one Myxophyceae. That is phycocyanin and phycoerythrin. Here phycocyanin is very dominant. That's why this color is the blue-green color. Yellow phycocyanin. That's why the color is the blue-green color or blue-green algae. And another very most important point, reserve food material, glycogen, cyanophycin starch. There you can observe the cyanophycin starch or glycogens. Metachromatin granules also present in this one. And another important conventionally sexual reproduction is absent. Why? Motile form, flagella is absent. That's where the sexual reproduction also to absent in this class. Yes, do you understood? I think all classes are completed. For each and every class, I'll give the example. Here to ask in the degree level, I think the Chlorophysy member, Phaeophyceae, Rhodophyceae, and Myxophyceae. You can observe, you can take the example. In the pigment system is most important. Next one is the types of flagella. Next one is the reproduction. What type of reproduction and what is the life cycle? These all things are most important to ask the question in this part only. You can practice MCQs in the online mode. Many MCQs are there. You can practice. If any doubt to ask me. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, sir, your voice. Okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Today you are explained very wonderful explanation regarding of today's class. That is the classification. According to Fritch classification, Fritch has classified into 11 classes of this algae. Madam has clearly, elaborately explained the wonderful class. My dear friends, listen carefully, and also the YouTube link also sent in our WhatsApp group. Whenever you have doubt, please listen. At the same time, Madam has given a suggestion for us. Please practice MCQs. We will plan to send MCQs and assignments and practice questions also sent in our WhatsApp groups. Okay. Thank you, Madam. So,
thank you, sir.
Next class. Thank you, Madam.